What's up, UFC fans, and welcome to UFCentral, your one-stop shop for all UFC news. I'm your host, Jay Schroeder, and here with me as usual, Mike and Dimitri Vutsinos. Okay, tonight's episode is dedicated to Bob Shamrock, the adopted father of UFC legends Ken and Frank Shamrock. He just recently passed away at 68. In Ultimate Fighter 11 news, it's been announced that it's going to start with 28 middleweight fighters. Now, if you do the math, 28 fighters is not going to fit in a standard tournament, so it's unclear as of now how it's going to work, but I'm sure it'll be interesting. Dana White has said that if Namor Court can beat Chael Sonnen, he'll be the next to get a middleweight title shot. While Court thinks Vitor Belfort doesn't even deserve to be fighting for the title right now, and he should already be #1 contender. Alright, last week I announced that the first ever UFC gym was opening on January 23rd. While it did, and was hugely successful, about 3,500 people signed up. They announced that in June, the second UFC gym is going to be opening in Los Angeles. Also, Anderson Silva has recently said that he wants to fight in heavyweight, and he'll fight anyone. He'll fight Mir, Lesnar, Carwin. He just wants to be in the biggest fights possible. And a lot of people are saying a good fight would be him versus GSP, and he said he'd be down for that too.
On Gray Manda's website, he stated that BJ Penn versus Frankie Edgar was going to be a great fight. I'm going to go ahead and agree with him. When asked to whom he wanted to fight next, he said whatever the UFC brings him, he'll take him on. Personally, I think him versus Joe Stevenson would be a great match. Both wrestlers, underrated striking, both pretty cocky. After completely destroying Fabricio Verdum, Gilbert Yvel, and Mirko Cro Cop, Junior Dos Santos has been nicknamed the Pride Killer. I say give him the title shot right now. But he's going to be humble. He said he'll take whatever the UFC will give him. He knows his time will come. Watch out, Brock. He's promising beautiful knockouts in 2010. And personally, I don't think you're any match for the person who trains with Lyoto Machida, Anderson Silva, and the Nogueira brothers. People are saying that George St. Pierre is hurting his reputation by not stopping fights, forcing him to promise he's going to stop Dan Hardy. George, you don't got to promise anybody anything. The fact that you last 5 rounds with anybody out there and you outlast them, never get tired, that impresses me enough. I think that's more impressive than any knockout or submission.
First of all, last time I spoke of Forrest Griffin, I said he was fighting Thiago Silva. Not anymore. Now he's fighting Little Nog, Antonio Rogerio Nogueira, at UFC 113. For UFC Fight Night 21, I got 2 matches to discuss. The first is a rumored match between Stefan Struve, Frankenstein's monster, versus Roy Cheeseburger Nelson. The second one is a confirmation of a match we talked about previously, Kenny Florian versus Takanori Gomi. And last but not least, if any of you UFC fans miss Dan Henderson, you can watch him fight for free in April against Strikeforce's middleweight champion Jake Shields.
Alright guys, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and tune in next week where we'll go over in complete detail all the matches on the main card of UFC 109 Relentless.